Hello! As hopefully you know by now, my name's Isabel and I'm your academic liaison librarian. Today I'm going to be talking about finding information for your client project. So these are the themes that we'll be looking at today. Finding out about the market, so market trends and competitors, the general market environment for jewellery sales. So we'll be looking at some of the databases that are available for market research, with a particular focus on social responsibility. We'll also find out about potential consumers, so your millennial target audience for this project, and how you can research their preferences. And how to look at campaigns for similar brands using our advertising case studies database. Databases are accessible through your course resource help page, which is linked in the slides, and you can also find it using the drop-down menu under course resources and support on the library homepage. So this has all of the databases and some guidance links as well to little videos and PDF guides to using those databases. So we'll start with looking at the market. The jewellery market is very well covered in 3 of our databases: Mintel, Marketline and Passport. So Mintel focuses on the UK market anyway. In Marketline and Passport, they have specific reports for each sector, for each country that they cover. So you'll want to use United Kingdom in the search so that you can narrow down to those specific markets. We've got Business Source Complete, which has a range of articles from academic journals, but also trade magazines. So you might find some useful stuff searching Business Source Complete. We've got Factiva, which I will do a demo of later in this video. That's a huge news database of international, national and local news sources. And the good thing about Factiva is it helps you to get around those paywalls that you find so often when you're trying to read news online. I think the number of paywalls is increasing, sites that you have to register with to get access to the articles. Factiva, we pay a subscription so that you can get around that and read the articles directly, and also search across lots of different news sources for the same topic. It's going to be difficult to find much information on this specific company that you've got for your client project because they're a relatively new startup. So a lot of the company's information we have is on larger companies and more established companies. But that shouldn't be a problem for this research. I'll just quickly show you how to get to Marketline and search for an industry report on there. So I'd recommend going via the library homepage through your course resource help page, so you can select your course from this drop-down list. And then we've got Marketline up at the top here. Usually I find it's a good idea firstly to search for the industry and then narrow it down by the geography. So if we search just for jewellery in the main search box, we can see that there's a lot of relevant reports here, but it's a random selection of countries. So on the left here, there's a geography filter. And I thought I'd include this in this video. It would be useful for your other assignments as well. So you can select United Kingdom here and click Show Results. And that will show you the most relevant reports for here. And you can see that the latest one here is from January 2020. So do be aware that it won't include the impact of COVID on this market, which is a reason why Factiva is good. We'll go on to talk about that later because those news sources will help to bring your research up to date. So if I click into this report, you can see that it's a PDF that you can navigate. It's got different sections. in the contents page, you can see that it's got information about the competitive landscape, segmentation, general market value, forecast information. So this is a really good place to start your research into the jewellery market in this country. So trends in socially responsible brands. We've got Business Source Complete for journal articles on this topic. So you can use terms like social responsibility, corporate social responsibility, or different themes. I think in your client brief there are several of this brand's particular campaigns mentioned, and you could use those as keywords to find out what other companies might have been doing in that area as well. This is obviously closely linked to your consumer demographic, and you'll find reports, for example, in Mintel that talk about the lifestyles and preferences of this particular group, which notably trend towards more socially responsible brands. So some of those reports, like the ones mentioned on this slide, will help you to find evidence to support any assertions around millennials' preferences. So this is Factiva that I mentioned just a moment ago. I will now do a demo to show you how to find information on Factiva. Let's have a look now at Factiva. I'm back on the course resource help page. If I scroll down below these buttons to the resources section, you can see some further databases that we've got access to. Under more databases, company accounts and news, you can find the link for Factiva. This is the Factiva search page, and there are lots of ways on this front page that you can narrow down your search before you start looking. I think this is a good idea to use these filters because the free text search can be a bit random. So under industry, you can start to search for the jewellery industry. And so we've got jewellery and jewellery stores. So you can click on there for a description. You can add it just by clicking on the word, add it to your search, and we'll do the same with jewellery stores. Note the American spelling and the American language in terms of stores rather than shops. Jewellery spelt with one L, so that will vary across different databases. Just be aware of that. We can also look for particular regions if we want, or particular topics. So in this case, I'm going to combine a search for news on the jewellery industry with anything mentioning corporate social responsibility. So then I can run a search on those two factors, and it will give me all the recent news articles across lots of different sources that mention those. So we can see a little bit of information about that here from various different news sources. So you can be a bit more specific about that if you want. Down the left-hand side here, it tells you the sources of the news that has come up in the search results. If you want to just focus on one particular source, you can click on the name of it here, and it will search just within that publication. Or if you click on the symbol next to it that's like a stop sign, it will exclude that publication from your results. You can also have a look at some of the other filters here. So for example, by region, you might want to narrow it down to have a look at the UK. Any time you want to try a slightly different search, just click Modify Search at the top here. It will take you back to the search page. You can then add and remove any filters that you want. I'm going to show you one final database to help with this particular project. Back on the course resource help page, under resources again, and then more databases, advertising, we've got WARC, the World Advertising Research Centre database. So this is a really useful place to find case studies, articles, short insight pieces on marketing campaigns. So you can look at similar campaigns and get some inspiration about different approaches, different metrics that have been used, etc. So at the search bar at the top here, I'm going to search for jewellery. So this is one way of searching this database. That will then give you all of the information on this database related to jewellery advertising. So we've got case studies, we've got articles, news and opinion. There's plenty on there to get started with. The other way that you can search, if I go back to the WARC homepage, is using the case finder to find particular in-depth case studies of different types of campaigns. So you can filter these in lots of different ways. We've got at the top categories, which is the market sector. So here I think we're looking under clothing and accessories, and then personal accessories. That will give you all the campaigns related to jewellery, watches, etc. But there's other ways you can search this as well. You can look at campaigns with a particular target audience. So you can look at successful advertising campaigns targeting millennials, for example. You can look at campaigns with different budgets. You can look at different creative approaches, and you can look at media and different channels that have been used. So I wouldn't apply all of those filters at the same time, because if you search for case studies that are on jewellery aimed at millennials with this approach and that budget, you probably won't find anything that specific. But I would search individually for each of those things so that you can find out what kind of campaigns have been useful for similar target audiences. On this slide, there's just a quick summary of what we talked about with WARC to remind you what that database is most useful for. So that's the end of today's short video presentation. Do remember, if you've got any questions, you can get in touch with me. businesslibrarians@brooks.ac.uk is the best way to do that. And I've also put a link here to your course resource help page. Good luck with your assignment. Thanks for watching the video.